Planet Vero Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Growing Old Fearlessly, the show in which we talk about the process of navigating growing older one day at a time. And I'm Julie, your host, and I want to thank Evergreen Media for making this show a reality. If you want more information on how to host your own podcast with audio and video, visit egreenmedia.com. So today I have my dad in the studio. Again, he was my very first guest when we started this show. And he had so much to talk about. We didn't cover it all. So here he is, Roberto. Welcome back, Daddy.
Hi.
So good to have you here. So, I was looking at, I'm always looking for different information so that I can help you and do all the right things, what I think are the right things. We never know because we're just learning, right? One day at a time. So I was looking online, and AARP, they have a list of things that you can do to love your brain, or to show your brain a little love, to keep your brain working properly, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I do have to say, AARP, if you're anywhere near 50 years old and above, they start sending you those cards inviting you to become member, like as soon as they know that you're turning 50. I am not a member. My dad is a member. But here we go. So tip number 1 to love your brain is to break a sweat. They say that you should elevate your heart rate, which increases your blood flow to the body and to the brain. So, Dad, what are some of the things that we do together to help you kind of like work out?
Well, we do some exercises that I'm forced to do by you.
I know. But one of the things that is really good, because typically you're on your wheelchair, but now you're coming out with your walker.
Yes.
So obviously the exercises that we're doing are keeping you nice and fit. So one of them is to stand up and down.
Yes.
And what else do I make you do?
Well, you make me move my arms and throw punches and everything. I feel like I'm a boxer.
There you go. And so now we're keeping you not just the body moving, but know that every time that you do that, you're also working out your brain, which
That's
is great.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tip number 2 is to fuel up right. And that means eating a healthy, balanced diet. I know that you have your very own dietary restrictions. And there are certain things that you cannot eat. And I get that. However, eating a healthy, balanced diet that has fruits and vegetables and whole grains and seafood and meat, because you do need your protein. We always talk about that, right?
Yes.
So all of those things are also good for your brain. You told me yourself not too long ago about sugar, and you said you didn't want to eat sugar.
Not too much. I mean, I eat some.
Right. And that was because too much sugar, you read, does what?
It affects your memory.
Exactly.
It does.
And we want to make sure that we keep that brain functioning for as long as it possibly can.
That's
right? Tip number 3. This one is tricky. Catch some Z's. Sleep well. You gotta get enough sleep every night. And I know that that's sometimes difficult.
Very difficult. But anyway, most of the time when I sleep well, it's when I have a lot of dreams, but good dreams.
That's
Because when
fabulous.
I have a nightmare, I can't sleep. But if I have dreams with the family members, with you, with my deceased mom, and friends that I had, old friends, I do sleep well, yes. And sometimes I dream of people from church from the old days when I used to go out with them in processions on Holy Week and especially on Good Friday. And I remember those days and I really enjoyed them. And right now, this past Friday, Good Friday, I remembered all about that. And I really was very, very, very happy to remember that.
That's great. Okay, so we want to keep this brain functioning, not just yours, but mine as well. If I forget anything today, I had a terrible night of sleep last night. I could not sleep, could not fall asleep, woke up extra early. I probably have bags under my eyes, but hey, it's all part of it. I hope I don't forget what I'm supposed to be talking about today. I need to work my memory too. It's not just yours. So let's go to tip number 4 is stump yourself. And how do you stump yourself? It's challenge and activate your mind. Play games that make you think strategically. And this is what you have been doing recently, I think, for the
yes.
last couple weeks. Tell us
Yes.
about it.
I play a lot of Scrabble. And believe me, I enjoy it. And not only because it's we have fun, it's because I exercise my memory. I start remembering words that I learned not only in high school, but in
Elementary school.
elementary school. Yes, even for first grade.
And I know that you're doing great.
Oh, yes.
And you're thinking not just, I remember this word, but you're thinking strategically.
Yes. I'm thinking strategically because I select my words so that I can get more points. And I always look around to see where the triple words are so I can play there or get close to that. So sometimes I have to play for just 4 or 5 points just to get close to the 3-word square.
Right.
And when I do that, sometimes I get lots of points.
Good.
People are surprised.
So they're probably thinking when you played something for 5 points, they're like, oh, we got Roberto.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got him. And you're like, oh, no, there's a method to my madness, right?
But on the next one, I get 30, 40, 50. And they say, oh, boy.
I may have to bring you home and get the Monopoly out. And let's see.
I haven't played Monopoly in years.
Oh, I know that. Just like you haven't played poker in years.
that's
And I'm
true.
guessing that's like riding a bicycle.
Oh, yeah,
All you
yeah.
have to do is just try it again and go move forward and you'll do great, right?
Very true, very true.
All right. So you've been playing a lot of games. Tip number 5 is buddy up. Stay social. Go out and hang out with friends and do activities that you love to do and do them with others. So that's part of the games that you're playing. Yes, you're playing it because you're exercising your brain, but you're doing it because there's a group of people out there doing it.
That's correct. Well, we have a director of activities now. We didn't have it before. And she plays bingo with us. When she's not around, the ladies there like for me to call the bingo. But not only do I call it, I play it too, of course. And that's when I lose the most. Normally, when somebody else calls the bingo, I win 5, 6, 7 times. Like today, this morning, I won 7 times. But the good thing about it is sometimes there's up to 10 people. Sometimes another man like me, but most of them are old ladies. And they really enjoy it. they love for me to play the bingo because I make jokes and all that. You know, I tell jokes, and they laugh a lot. So I really enjoy it, and I know they're enjoying it. They tell me that they like for me to call the bingo and to play with them.
Right. I think this is great because before my dad was at this assisted living facility, he had been at home by himself because he loved his home. He liked being at home. However, there was not that social factor in there. And now that he is at this new place, he gets to go out and chat with the other residents. They go out for walks. They play bingo. They play Scrabble. And now he is really feeling like a part of the family because that's what they are.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's super. I love that. And I love seeing you like this. This is much better.
Well, I feel much happier now.
And that is good. And that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, like you can grow older.
Right.
But you can grow older depressed, or you can grow older happier, and you are in the happy phase and enjoying every little thing and every day, right?
They say they love me when they see me laughing because I laugh a lot. I tell jokes and I laugh.
Roberto laughs a lot. I have a few questions for you because we wanted to continue exercising the brain and stimulate some memories in there and go down memory lane. So I wanted to ask you, because somebody asked me this recently, and it's a fun question. If you could go back to any age in time, what would it be?
My teen years, especially when I was in high school.
Uh-huh.
Well, I learned to dance so many types of music that I love dancing. And all those girls looked up to me every time we went to one of those parties because they all wanted to dance with me because I was the only one who could dance anything.
And things haven't changed. I know that nowadays when the young kids go to dances, all the girls always love that one boy who likes to dance. Very
true, very true. And I remember when I even used to dance jitterbug, which not very many men liked. And those girls, some of them loved that jitterbug. So when I danced with them, they loved it. And they kept looking at me and saying, save the next dance for me.
Great. And where were you at during these years?
That was in high school.
Yeah, but where?
In New York.
You were in like New York City?
New York City, yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're talking to my dad. This is Growing Old Fearlessly. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come right back.
Hi, I'm Ralph Winook with Dale Sorensen Real Estate and ResidentialRalph.com. When you're interested in buying or selling a home, contact me. As your agent, I will work nonstop to ensure that your buying or selling experience is smooth and stress-free. I will be there for you at every stage of the process to answer your questions and help you make an informed decision. So, why wait? Contact me, Ralph Winook, and schedule a consultation with me today. Visit ResidentialRalph.com. That's right, ResidentialRalph.com.
Sturgis Lumber and Hardware has what you need for hurricane season. Lumber and plywood, straps, ties, and bolts, plus the service to find what you need. Be ready now. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware, US 1 Vero Beach. Be hurricane ready with Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. SturgisLumber.com.
Start your day with fuel in your tank with breakfast at Marsh Landing. You'll love our biscuits and gravy, sweet potato pancakes, or eggs Benedict with a fried green tomato. And how about a mimosa or a monster Bloody Mary? It's breakfast, old Florida style, at Marsh Landing in Bellsmere.
Advertising is essential. You've got to make people aware that you're there. We can do that with a cohesive marketing campaign from Evergreen Media. Based on your business goals, we'll create a mix of digital advertising on social media sites like Facebook, video advertising on streaming sites like Hulu and Paramount Plus, and supplement them with local TV and radio ads. Build awareness, educate, and inform the public with a cohesive marketing campaign by Evergreen Media. Check out egreenmedia.com or search online for Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Hi, this is Anna Valencia Tillery, host of Treasure Coast Insider. Listen to my show to learn where to go, what to try, and how to give back throughout the Treasure Coast. Tune in to Treasure Coast Insider, Saturdays at 4, on your weekend home for Planet Vero Radio, Real Radio 1017.
Welcome back to Growing Old Fearlessly. And today we're here in the studio talking to my dad, Roberto. And we are going down memory lane right now. But before we do that, I want to thank my sponsor, Ralph Winook. He is Residential Ralph, and he is the expert in all of your real estate needs, and especially the Heroes on the Move program, helping veterans find their homes. For more information, visit him at residentialralph.com. All right, so back to my dad. And Daddy, we just got done talking about what age you would want to go back if you could. But tell me, I would like to know a little bit more about your mother. What do you remember about your mother?
Well, I remember my mom was a beautiful woman. And she became a widow around 45. And she was raising 12 children. Not all of them were hers, but she was raising them. So she had a lot of work to do. She was a hard worker. But she taught me, ever since then, I was a child, how to go to church on Sundays, for instance. She told me that, maybe I didn't want to go or didn't feel like going, but I should go so that I could listen to the Gospels when they talked about the Gospel, so I could learn something. And believe me, at first I used to go and just sit there. Maybe I wasn't even listening. But as I grew older, not too old, of course, I started thinking about it. When they say something that actually I thought was something about me, especially sinning, when they talked about sins. And I know that I was doing things during my childhood that weren't right. They were not, they were not the correct thing to do. But so I started to learn, and I started asking forgiveness from Christ.
Great. So I know that your mom she taught you how to go to church, and I'm sure that she taught you prayers when you were growing up. There were some values that she also instilled in you. What are those?
To love others as I love myself, for one thing. To respect older people, especially aged people. Mm-hmm. I loved my mother. She was a great woman. She was a great cook. And
what was like, out of all the things that she cooked, what was your favorite?
Oh, the rice and beans. My God. And the fried pork chops that she used to. I have never tasted any pork chops like that in my life, the rest of my life.
Wow, that is great.
She was, plus the chicken soup that she made. Never again have I tasted a soup like that.
She lived a long life. She lived until she was
92.
92. Wow.
Which I hope to reach that age.
Well, you're 90 already, so I'm
Well-
sure you're probably going to get there and beat it.
No, I don't want to be it.
I think you will. Since we're talking about mothers, I am curious. How did you meet my mother?
Oh, that's a beautiful story. Believe me. When I came out of the Air Force in New York, I asked my mother if we could go back to Puerto Rico, because I still remember how beautiful it was and how well we were. And so we moved to Puerto Rico and found a home, a 2-story home, and we moved to the 2nd story. On the 1st floor, my ex-wife, as a teenager, was living there. And at first, I saw her, but I didn't pay any attention. She didn't pay any attention to me
Oh,
either.
so it was not love at first sight.
Not at first sight, no. But what happens, I found a job at the Don Q Distillery, Rum Distillery, and I used to come back from work at the same time she got out of work. So we started meeting each other without planning it when we got out off the bus at about 2 blocks away from our home. At first we didn't talk. But then one day, I saw her, and when she looked at me, she smiled. And boy, that's when she conquered me.
That did it. Just the smile, huh?
That beautiful smile conquered me, and after that, I started talking to her every day when we came out of work. But then, every night I saw her sitting in the balcony in a rocking chair, and at first I wouldn't dare say, if I asked her if she would let me in. But one day I just found the courage. And we started talking. I said, "Can I come in and talk to you there?" She says, "Yeah, come on in." So I sat in the rocking chair right next to her. We started talking there, and every time I looked at her, I started feeling in love.
That is great. All days rocking on those chairs.
Yeah.
Daddy, what was the best day of your life?
The best day was after we had been boyfriend and girlfriend for about 2 years. We were so much in love, actually, I thought. But then this night, I sat in the balcony with her, and I looked at her. All of a sudden, I found the courage. And I looked at her and I said, "Julie, do you really love me?" And she says, she called me Tato. So she said, "Tato, I love you so much." So I said, "Then, would you marry me?" And she says, "Yes." Boy, that made my day.
Wow.
Yes,
And
that's the best day of my life.
And you had been dating her for 2 years,
2 years.
at that point.
Yes.
And still living in the same place. So she
Same
was
place.
in the downstairs and you were on the
Yes,
upstairs.
Yes.
And all of the other siblings, like your siblings and her siblings, all lived there?
Yes. And they knew each other. So, we were like a big family then.
Was my mom friends with like your sisters?
Well, with, what's her name? I forget.
Some of them, like
My-
Dende?
Dende, yeah, my sister Dende especially. She became good friends with her.
That is great. That is great. I love going through memory lane with you, but we kind of got to stop. Because you're here, I want to do some dad jokes, if that is okay with you, right? Because a sense of humor is what keeps you going.
Sure.
The oldest computer can be traced back to Adam and Eve. It was an apple, but with very limited memory. Just one bite, and then it crashed.
Yeah.
Just one more, probably. I do have the dad jokes. And what's the most musical part of a chicken?
Pew, pew, pew.
That drumstick. We're almost done. I
Yeah,
want to
the
leave you.
drumstick,
I want to
drumstick.
leave you with words by Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you remember her from the
Yeah.
olden days.
Yeah.
Getting old is like climbing a mountain. You get a little out of breath, but the view is much better.
That's a beautiful thought.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. We will see you again next week right here on Growing Old Fearlessly. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye.